Spiral, 2 Jews, 2 mics, 2 hours, starting now.
Good morning, Mr. Weinstein. Mr. Weinstein, come in. He's older now, right? Mr. Weinstein, come into my office, baby. Mr. Weinstein, where are you? I'm in the office now.
Mr. Kindler.
No, it's Mr. O.
As you see, I've brought the power of attorney papers.
What? I want you before you take my power away or to put more coal. Okay, I can't even keep the voice. The voice is hard. Now I know which people like you go through.
We go through hell.
It's unbelievable. You think it's just doing impressions like, I am not a crook. What? How come I don't? People sometimes.
You know what ruined that impression is that Nixon never had that much joy in his entire life.
Well, Josh, Elvis Weinstein. I couldn't believe that he's one of your best friends. That's the thing that I thought was terrible about this whole debacle at Madison Square Garden. A close friend of yours, who you mentored as a young comic.
Sure.
And even, I think, contributed some material to it.
Kill Tony? No, love Tony.
I had met, if people don't know, it's Tony Hinchcliffe, I think is his name.
Uh-huh.
And I knew nothing about him years ago. I was at a comedy festival somewhere, and I did his show. And I got a feeling, I think I've heard bad things about this guy. It's where amateurs come up and perform and he screams at them or something like that, right? There was a look in his face that I think I could tell right then without even this thing happening, or this guy was going to be bad news.
Uh-huh.
And I think it's amazing because he thought he was going up there as a representative of the Joe Rogan edgy right-wing crowd.
Yeah.
And they didn't even, they groaned at his Puerto Rico joke.
Uh-huh.
But I think they didn't mean they didn't like it, right?
I mean, it wasn't like there was a revolt. It wasn't like anybody after him said he shouldn't have said that. Sorry.
No, they didn't say that at all. And I know that you were disappointed that Dr. Phil. I love Dr. Phil. He's been helpful to me. Okay, so he picked Trump. What's the big deal? The guy. Can you believe a guy who his entire career would be dressing down husbands who didn't treat their wives properly, screaming at them, and this guy's up there, like endorsing a rapist, like it's fun,
while spitting in the face of Oprah. By the way.
I love the way people say, I always forget what that stupid DEI stands for.
Diversity, equality,
inclusion, or something like that.
Yes, sure.
And what people were saying was, coming from him, he wouldn't even have a career if it wasn't for Oprah. Right. Oprah. So he was helped with his career. And it's like, what's weird? Is that I've always
your
hated.
Lip-smacking thing?
Oh, no. I've always hated him. Always hated him. Right from the get-go. Right from the drop.
I don't know how you could even not like me. All I do is dispense common sense.
Even the whole, I know, as we talked about the whole story about
have a little horse sense,
right? Like when he helped Oprah, he stayed in her office and wouldn't leave or something like that.
I was giving her valuable behind the scenes advice.
Yeah, but she was saying she doesn't have to say negative things about the meat industry that may not be true. She could just say she doesn't like meat. How about that?
She could have, but I helped her through.
There's a part of that story where Dr. Phil is frustrated, and he goes, well, you tell her I'm leaving. I'm leaving now. Tell Oprah I'm leaving. When the initial thing, because he helped her with the case with the meat.
Uh-huh.
So, but that was his tactic. I can't do the voice. I'm going to leave. No, if she doesn't have time for me, I'm gone.
I'm walking right out that door if she doesn't see me immediately.
Is it true that you would, is your show still on the air?
Don't spit in my face and tell me you're peeing on me.
No, that's not the way that goes.
Oh.
God, that's so good. Don't spit in my face. That's more of the confused hack comic, in a way.
Yeah.
I'm driving down the street and there's a guy. I said, "Oh my God, a guy with a ski rack is coming after me." Turns out it was just a policeman pulling me over for a felony. Bump, bump, deep poop. These jokes that are based on how bad comedy was, well, it's still bad in many ways. People don't remember it. They don't remember.
Why should they? Why should they? People don't remember the good. People don't remember good comedy either.
Well, then how
and
can
then
I do it
when you go back and look at what you thought was good comedy, it doesn't always hold up so much. So comedy's often best left in the rearview mirror.
That's true. Do you know Seinfeld actually apologized for?
Yes, he recanted his stupidity.
And not only was, I want to bring everybody's attention back to the point that it wasn't just stupidity. He threw his daughter under the bus because it was all about how she's saying this and she doesn't know about civil rights.
Are you trying to find a new angle to get mad at him? The guy actually recanted his stupidity.
I like it they did it. What made him do it though? Because I guess he isn't completely. He is self-aware to a certain degree. He's not a dummy. So he could think about it.
He could think about it, and he was on with Tom Papa, who was, I'm sure, going, come on.
Well, Tom Papa knows
comedy.
He knows that I slam Tom Papa. Who's his friend? Who's he friends with?
I don't know. In this
case,
he's
friends with.
I don't.
No. Who were we just talking about?
Jerry Seinfeld.
He's like Jerry, one of his best friends.
Right. That's what I'm saying. He was
right, but
it was a safe place for him to.
It's a safe place, but I told him a long time ago. I said, "Does Jerry know anything about?" We were going to some comedy festival. He goes, "Oh, he knows all about that thing you said because it was on the cover. It was in the New York Times, so that's why he did grow to hate me.
Yeah,
but he wouldn't have been aware of me otherwise.
Right. Well, that often works when you slam someone in the New York Times. They tend to get an opinion about you.
Well, Greg Giraldo, who I love and miss every day, I told the story before. He said to Seinfeld, "This guy's really funny," because I was doing that Larry David show where it was Curb Your Enthusiasm and they were recording it. He put Curb Your Enthusiasm, but he didn't make it work in a half-hour format, so they made it like an hour format. And then he told Jerry, "Oh, this guy's pretty funny." And then Jerry told him, "Oh, the guy didn't say anything funny that I heard." And Tom had to explain to him, he's probably nervous. I'm not gonna jump into Seinfeld, right? I heard he was funny, but he wasn't that funny then. Did you see the interview?
No, I just saw the little blurb of him. I saw the clip of him going,
"I was wrong. Yeah. I was wrong. I could be wrong again."
I don't know. I think that deserves at least a tip
I
of
do.
the hat.
Did I not tip the hat to him?
No.
Did I not do one of these?
No, but then you made it about him not liking you at a thing.
He's a fucking idiot, and he wasn't good to me. And he didn't, for example, he didn't put me on Seinfeld. What possible reason could he have? Oh, now you're going to tell me there's 70,000 other people want to be on Seinfeld? Oh, and that's the reason why I shouldn't be on Seinfeld? No, it's an affront to me. Affront to me. I didn't even get close to Seinfeld. I got close to Curb because I auditioned 5 times.
Yeah.
Let me see. Andy, let me see you, what's it called when you make yourself look bad? I mean, like like he's saying, like he's got, right. But he's got me there and he's toying with these people that come in. Uh-huh. Hey, try this improv, try that improv. What's that called? That's, I don't know. First of all, why with the sobriety? I am coming off of fucking I'm on my 3rd solid day of indubitably and all this kind of stuff. And now I can't remember what I was talking about. What's happened to me?
More of the same.
I am sadly, or not sadly, I don't want to set myself up for a fall, but I'm still remaining confident about the election. And you heard it here. I hate those people who just all they care about was the prediction. I told you Hitler would win, right? One of those people.
Well, this is our final chance at it before the actual election.
That's right. When you people hear this, or as you're listening to this, you will be the day before the election. This should be good for the day before the election. Who do you recommend that they watch for the coverage? Stuff like that. All you need to know.
Brian Williams on Amazon.
Brian Williams on Amazon. Chris Cuomo had Vance on News Nation.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. That Chris Cuomo. Oh, my goodness gracious. I just can't. Well, I don't know. I have nothing funny to say. So, how are you? Throw the ball back in your court. Throw the back. Have we done an hour so far? I'm questioning my commitment to today's show.
Yeah.
I don't like what I'm seeing or hearing.
Or feeling, in my case.
Yes. Yeah. I'm not taking your feelings into consideration.
No,
am I?
No, but that's right on course.
Yeah, it's like the whole world revolves around me. I went to a doctor once and they said, I can't literally see people. I mean, everything's and then people say that I'm not nice to them, but I don't see, I think it's a haze. If I could see you right now, I could talk to you. I'm so tired of my Andy Kindler's a fucking stupid old Jew material. Tired of it.
Which one are you going to drop?
I can't drop the stupid thing because it's bizarre. It's my hook.
So
it's my hook now.
Stupid old Quaker?
No. Oh.
Stupid young Jew, then.
Stupid young Jew. I would prefer to be looked at. Hey, if you're going to call me a Jew, just call me mother. Do you tell people don't call me sir? That was my father. You've never used that one, right?
No one calls me sir.
They do. The people, the paper boy. I can't believe I said the paper boy. Well, that's not something wrong.
And it's not sir. It's Mr. Mr. Weinstein is my father. It's not sir.
Sir. That's right. Do you know when I moved to LA and I delivered papers door to door, I didn't realize that murders was one of the reasons that they stopped having kids do it. I'm not saying no kids do it anywhere.
Yeah.
But kids were getting killed and all this stuff. So they said, and I heard them actually say, and now that's why you get your newspaper thrown to you by an adult in a car. And I just went right back to me. Right back to me, 1978, throwing those stupid LA Times out the window.
I just, for the first time in my adult life, basically stopped my paper delivery of the Times.
And canceled it.
I didn't no, I had happened to have already canceled my paper ones.
Okay.
Because they were just literally stacking on my driveway because we read it online, So
yes.
it's like, it was just,
No, it just was it's also like a sentimental sometimes. I mean, sometimes you do like you just put it on the table.
It's an old world artifact.
That's right.
And, so it's really nice to not have them lying there.
You don't need that. You don't need that.
Because I'd really gotten to the habit of taking it off my driveway and throwing it into the recycling bin.
Directly?
Directly, yes.
See, I have too much Jewish guilt. I would always.
Well, no, it's not like I'm reading the paper, but it was incredibly crazy expensive too. So how they. What
was it? Can you give me an idea?
It was like $200 and some bucks. Like a quarter. I mean,
are you kidding?
No, it was like crazy what they had done.
Why did you keep it going for so long?
Because they weren't actually emailing me bills until recently. They were just billing it.
Now, here's the thing. You mean on your credit card, right?
Yeah.
Now, this thing that happened at I go crazy about this thing that happened in the Los Angeles Times. And then Dana Schwartz said, did you hear what happened at the Washington Post? And I hadn't even heard that story, which is even a bigger story.
It is.
Because is it the hideous fascist corporatist businessman? He's taking his lead from Bezos, or is just
no? Yeah, I mean,
people?
It would appear to have come from Bezos.
Yeah. How does he? Here's the thing. I have always hated Jeff Bezos. I've always hated Amazon. I've always felt guilty about, but you'll use it anyway. Why am I surprised, though? I thought he was trying to pretend to be not a greedy billionaire like Musk.
Well, I think that, I don't see the evidence of that, really. Why? Because of the employee-friendly confines of Amazon, are we talking about?
I know it's not friendly, but remember years ago when he was first on TV and they showed him on 60 Minutes and they showed him...
I think it's pre-fascism, honestly. I think it's I have too much business that can be fucked with
affected. So I better
regulatory wise, both in terms of space launches and his, main business.
Oh man, that's got to be a bad day for you. Why did you, honey, Jeff? That's not his wife, his new wife, right? Jeff, his ex-wife. Thank God, pours money into Democratic causes.
Yes.
She's a very big, I hope she spends all of his ill-gotten gains. I just realized what it is.
No, they're her ill-gotten gains now.
Her ill-gotten gains. No, that's not right. I just realized what it is. That there's a part of me that doesn't believe that people are as evil as they are.
That's good.
Like
Keep that part of you. Keep that part of you.
Yeah, because you don't want to just walk around and hate everybody.
Right.
I do it enough.
Me too.
I used to see him more like, because I used to hate Bill Gates back when he was trying to destroy the competition.
Sure.
Well, he certainly is I don't love that all of his, Warren Buffet. Is that how you pronounce it?
It's Warren Buffet? Pronounce it.
Right. That he had all his money together. But you can't argue that Bill Gates has not changed as a person or cares about people. He's not just throwing 50 million. It's not just to keep traces on people's DNA that he's giving out the AIDS vaccine. Sure, that's the main part of it.
Right.
Is to put them in a database where you can later crush them.
Right.
But he's actually done. Look, I'll give it up to George W. Bush for giving money for AIDS in Africa. I mean, that was good. And people would make fun of my friend Bono. I said, Bono, go. I said to him. That doesn't even ring true.
And that was good advice. Good advice. Good advice costs nothing and it's worth the price. Alan Sherman.
Is that you too?
Alan Sherman.
Why would you do an Alan Sherman? You know how confused I am. I'm barely hanging on. This is my worst show I've done since last week or the week before. This is the worst I've been on this show more than even the last year.
Since Friday.
Since Friday, for crying out loud. Why am I sad? Oh, my Jets lost. But the Jets losing now is great.
Yeah.
But who cares now? I like to actively root against Aaron Rodgers now.
That's good.
And root for the other guys. How's your team doing? I didn't know. I'm not trying to be obnoxious.
Which is my team, the Vikings.
See, this is exactly right. This is what I've said to you, Eddie. I have a studio audience now. Did I tell you, Eddie, that he's a fair weather friend?
I like it better than that Susan woman who insults me.
She said, "You're not keeping any of that stuff." He's not keeping any of that stuff, right?
Kept it all.
Of course, I kept it all.
Yes.
There is just a perception
crap that you put me in with that fucking bourbon. Fuck you, by the
way. There's just a certain perception of you, and the perception of you is that you're like a king who's bring me some. This bourbon will not do. But the theory is...
Well, can we walk through the whole sequence of events with the fucking bourbon?
Please do.
So it starts on the show. Hey, I've got this bottle of bourbon that I don't want. I don't want. Jim Gaffigan said, I want to send it to you. I didn't want to tell him that I don't drink, so I brought it. So now we've got this bourbon that I don't want. Do you drink bourbon? Yeah, I do. Do you want it? Yeah, I'll take your hand-me-down hooch. Never thought of it again. You get in the car the next day. I was going to bring you the bourbon, but I have to ask Susan because I don't want to take it away from her. At this point, I'm like, I don't need the bourbon. It's,
So far, far, it was fine, right?
Huh?
So far, I'm acting fine.
So far, you're acting fine. Right here. No, right? Not too much. I had forgotten about it. But then, as you recall, don't worry about it. It's not like I'm going to drink it. I don't need the bourbon at all because it's starting to feel like a thing. So,
right. And we didn't want it to be a thing.
Right. Then you text me the next day. I talked to Susan. She would love for you to have the bourbon.
I'm not Jerry Lewis.
You are in this story.
Okay.
At which point I'm like, okay, I could feel my alarm go up. This is getting grandiose now. This is this grand gift that they're giving me that they got free and don't want. Okay. So and that's when I said, I don't know how this became a thing, but thanks. I said.
Right. So far, everything sounds good to me.
Right. Then the next text, I'm coming over with the bourbon. Okay, great. Bring it over. You unwrap it for me. And Allison, do you drink bourbon? No. Okay. So
she said she did.
No, she said she didn't. And then,
okay.
But she in fact ended up to. It was because of her we opened it. So, we drink it. And, as I said, not great, but, so the next day, first thing, did you try the bourbon? Did you try the bourbon? And I had a couple of nice little jokes to kind of just not have to diss the bourbon. No.
What were your jokes?
It tasted vaguely of Hot Pockets. And he maybe should have gone with the Jim Gaffitt gin.
That's a too solid joke.
The only reason I remember this is because I had to edit this. But no. What did you think of it? Didn't like it that much. And you immediately get into celebrity panic then. Oh my God, he doesn't like the Jim Gaffigan gin. You start going with the, well, what do you know angle. And then Susan walks into the room. Yeah, he didn't like it. That's so like him, she says. Why? Because he's a curmudgeon? No, because he's an elitist. All right. So this has been my fun bourbon story.
Well, I apologize for the bad parts of it, but there is a part that you are a slight curmudgeon. Like when you watch documentaries, there's a little bit of a curmudgeonly thing. You even say
because I'm a documentarian.
Right. So
the same way when you watch comedy, you tear people up in the New York Times.
I don't do that. I don't do that. I just want to laugh. And look, I don't like Carrot Top. It's what he's doing. But far be it from me.
The man who had a 25-year career trashing people is calling me a curmudgeon about documentaries. Okay.
Right. But I own the fact that I'm an asshole. No, I don't think I'm an asshole.
I called myself pompous on the show last week.
That's right. So why didn't it make you so? She's probably her.
No, I'm just saying that it was just like.
Was talking about
it was that you were both willing to fucking throw me under the bus for Jim Gaffigan's bourbon. That's what it was.
And I love Susan later on in the day. He's not going to include that. Oh, Susan, you've made a terrible error, Susan. That's the only leverage she has now is amplifying it, making your voice sound weird. Oh, God. But what did you really think? But here's what I wanted to do. And if you're not into it, you're not into it. I happen to know.
You're like, did you taste it with another bourbon at the same time? As if it's a fucking. Because Jim Gaffigan, known the world over for his discerning taste.
Bob Dylan's thing is whiskey, which is different, right? It's not bourbon, it's whiskey.
Yeah,
this means it's made from Tennessee, but it's the same thing.
No, there's a lot of American whiskeys now, which are either rye or bourbons, but much like champagne, you can't call it bourbon unless it's from Kentucky.
Right. I don't understand that you can't refer to the state Kentucky as. I couldn't think of one other state. Oh God, so sad. It's so sad. I was listening to a podcast where they were talking, a true crime podcast where they were talking about absinthe. And I didn't even. The first time I heard about absinthe was The Sun Also Rises with Hemingway, and he talks about drinking it. And I even at the time when I was in college, I go, "Does this get you? It seems like it's a hallucinogenic or something like that."
Yeah.
Well, it's not hallucinogenic, but it is different. It is different than most. It's not the same. What the guy's saying, it's not the same high as. His whole thing was that it got banned for the wrong reasons. It got banned because you could get because there's neurotoxins in it. Uh-huh. So if there's enough but if it's done right, you have to drink like 4 bottles to get enough neurotoxins. So it was never it was advertised that it made you, because they were saying it made you crazy, it made you hurt people, and there was a whole movement. My question to, but then the guy who was the author, he starts out with, he goes, it's good. He said, it's good is absinthe and coffee in the morning because I love it. Espresso. You just get his whole thing was it makes you have a pleasant daydream.
All right,
is what he was saying. So my question to you is, and now there is absinthe. I didn't realize there is absinthe. Of course that there is. It's everywhere. It's not banned.
Well, there was a time, and I don't know if that time is over, where at least in the U.S. there was an altered recipe essentially, like the
absolutely
wormwood or whatever that is in the absinthe.
But not now.
Well, I don't know. I honestly I have no idea. I tried absinthe. I had absinthe once in Canada, in Vancouver.
I just gave you some information to say that it is, but you don't believe me.
No, well, you didn't source it.
Oh, I'm also sourcing it by the guy who wrote this book called The Absinthe Forger, which is about a guy. To me, this kind of stuff is fascinating. And I'm sure you like it too when you need to go to sleep at night. But the whole idea that there are these forgers saying that they were pre-banned bottles of absinthe.
Sure.
Okay, now when you had it in Canada, what this guy was saying was you put a little bit on the bottom of a thing and then you pour some drop water into it and it gets all
like hot
it gets
water.
Loosh.
Yeah.
Yes, and it gets loosh.
Yeah.
What does that mean? He told me 12 times.
Don't know.
Cloudy. It means cloudy.
Okay.
So, I was wondering.
It was a clouded experiment for me because there was plenty of other substances involved in that evening. So but I do remember the ceremony of clouding the absinthe from that.
Oh, you do remember? That's
Yes.
so cool. And did you like the taste? Because people who like it say it's got a nice like licorice. If you don't like licorice, you hate it.
Yeah, I mean, it was sort of in that ouzo grappa family, not grappa, but ouzo, and what's the Italian version of ouzo? Whatever, but it. Yeah.
I know he mentioned the Italian version of ouzo,
right,
when he was talking about this. Yeah, but you didn't necessarily experience it as any different.
No, but I'm never the guy who feels something first.
That's right, because you don't really feel anything, right?
But like I said, that based on my intake of things that evening, first of all, the absinthe was probably the lowest tier thing I was doing.
Right, yeah. Wait, but this sounds like a night I would have had, not you.
It was the most drugs I ever did in a night.
And still no cocaine involved.
No cocaine, no.
Well, what other drugs are there to do?
There was like Scooby snacks were like a mushroom capsule thing, and
what is this? It's like a mushroom
and ecstasy.
Did you take ecstasy?
I did.
And you like that, right?
I did not like that. No.
Oh my God!
I mean, I kind of liked. I liked the feeling for a bit. And I did,
right.
And I did get a really nice. I went up on the roof by myself on the top of this high rise in downtown Vancouver at night, and there was music on the speakers, and I had this very nice euphoric moment for myself.
That's great.
And then I went back in, and the actors I was with had discovered a working tape of that week's episode, and started watching it, and which totally ruined my whole high. And then the power went out in the building, and we all left. But it was like a fucking 8-hour high, which I have no desire for.
Could you have comforted?
And the real drag of it is it just makes you incredibly fucking unquenchably thirsty.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Wow. So what were you on, doing a movie or a show?
TV show.
That was the rock and roll show.
Sure. Yes. I don't want to implicate too many people.
Okay. I had a question to ask you. Could you have comforted Allison in the state that you were if she was in a similar state?
Yeah, no, I mean, I was
in control.
I was totally in control. It was all physical. I was certainly in my faculties enough to be annoyed by young actors. They were like, the power went out, and they were like, okay, let's go back to my hotel and watch it. And I was like, drop me off.
Now, what were they watching? What were they watching? That week's episode that was on the air?
It was. I think it was an assembly of a previous episode, because things, you're shooting, and previous shows are being edited as you're shooting. And
didn't you bum them out? Oh, old man doesn't want to watch the show. Like, we love it.
No,
I would be the one like, I love it. I'll go with you kids, and then somehow sneak out somehow.
No, because I was the only conscious member of the writing team who would have done that. Writing and producing team.
It makes you unquenchably thirsty, and not necessarily for alcohol, right?
No, I was like pounding giant 2-liter bottles of Evian all night.
They were saying that if you do get the neurotoxins, and if you went to the hospital for it, they would give you alcohol.
Oh, really?
So yeah, they give you alcohol. So that just shows that dealt with correctly, you're not going to get sick. I've always wanted to try it since the Hemingway thing. So now I said to Susan, hey, you get up in the morning, and maybe I didn't say there, get up in the morning, you have a cup of espresso with, that's not going to get out of control, right?
No, that's not a bad instinct at all.
You wouldn't mind me at all doing the show on that kind of, he says it makes you reflective and have a daydream.
Sure.
Wouldn't you like to have me have a daydream during the show?
Don't you?
Yes. Once I went to France. Oh, I'm still thinking about our great meal, our deli meal. What a great deli meal that was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really was. I guess I'm still focusing on it because we found another restaurant. It's in various locations, so I'm not telling you which one's the one that we use. Okay. It's Bakari. Yeah. We love Bakari.
Is it Italian?
It's got all. Would you say it's Italian, Susan? Without answering me, it is kind of Italian, I think.
Okay.
It's got stuffed, but it has stuffed mushrooms. It has all of these things.
Okay.
And it's just great. But the thing is, it does not open
all of these things. Stuffed mushrooms.
Shut up. Shut up. If you look at their menu, you'll say this isn't on every other menu here in our area.
Okay.
And it's like stuffed mushrooms I haven't seen in other, but it was delicious.
Okay.
Delicious.
Good to know.
And why would it open at 9 p.m.? Is it like mafia run?
It opens at 9 p.m.?
Yeah. Isn't that weird? So if you order something at 8:30, it'll deliver by 9:30, quarter to 10.
Oh, maybe they just don't do delivery during their dinner rush.
Oh, I hope that's true. That must be true. It's not some crazy restaurant that doesn't open till 9 then.
I doubt it. It doesn't seem like one could survive that while doing that, but.
And they're good, and there's more than one of them, which I usually don't say is a recommendation for it.
I'm never going to order there if you can't get it before 9 o'clock.
And that's the problem. There's no way you're doing that at 9 p.m.
No. Honey, wake up. Time for dinner.
Well, you're not asleep at 9.
I'm not, but my wife is.
Oh, yeah. Oh, she is at 9?
Oh, yeah.
Wow. I don't know what my point is there. That's
good.
Either. She's always been an early. How about when she was actively touring or a musician? Was that hard for her? Because she's always been a morning person?
She'd wait till after the show.
To go to sleep?
Yeah.
But left on her own, she's always been a morning person.
No, she's not.
So she just likes to sleep from 9 p.m. till the next morning.
Right.
Okay, well, that's cool.
And then be cranky.
It's so quaint. None of our wives listen to the show. I mean, none of our wives. We only have 2.
That's
I'm making it as if there's a set of people. You have to admit that that every 10 minutes you think about the election. And not like it was in 20 or 16, but every 15 minutes.
Not as often as I think about ancient Rome, but yeah.
As enough as you think about what?
Ancient Rome.
Right, ancient Rome. I don't get that. Is that a joke?
There was a thing this past year about how men think about ancient Rome 6 times a day or some shit like that.
That's
what?
Funny.
What?
That's pretty funny. It's so weird because I think of more Greek things. I think that I was on cloud 9 though, just going through the. Oh, here's what he said.
What's wrong with cloud 8? I said.
There's no difference between that and my material. It's the exact. It's not my material. It's not better than that. My material is not worse than that. It's exactly what my material is, and a good delivery. This Tony Hinchcliffe. In his defense, he goes...
In his defense. I like this already.
No, in his own defense.
Oh, okay.
In his own defense. He says, they're jokes. He actually said this. I vacation in Puerto Rico.
Yes. May want to change that reservation this year.
Yeah, but I mean, isn't that the tip? It's like when Howard Stern will go down to...
he also goes, go watch the whole... It's out of context. Watch the whole set.
That's what it is. He pulls one thing... You're at a Nazi rally. What could the context be pulled out of? You're at a literal... I think he's too stupid to have known about the 1939 parallels.
I don't know if that's true.
And Trump's not that... What is Trump's thing when he goes, I know I'm a Nazi, but we don't want them to know, but let's have like a similar rally on the same day and imply the same thing.
All right. Are you asking me for the strategic thinking behind that?
Yeah.
It's rallying the Nazis.
I thought he already had the Nazis on his side.
He does, but you got to get him to the polls.
That's true. I'll tell you, man.
Or at least get them burning fucking ballot boxes.
I just think right now, forget it. That's it. Because that's all I'm thinking about is the election. I must be forced off the topic.
Well, get it out now. It's our last show before it, so.
Right, but, and the thing is, I was not doing...
Have you voted yet?
No, not yet, but I'll do it very soon. There's Dropbox. I can get a Dropbox. I don't know what my problem is.
It's too late to mail it. Don't mail it anymore.
Well, I'll put it in a Dropbox.
Okay.
My license got expired.
Uh-huh.
Why?
That sounds very passive of you.
That's what I'm saying. I have this passive thing. Now, in my own defense, I want a real ID.
Uh-huh.
Right? So, but I also have a passport that expires in 2027.
Yeah.
But I want the real ID.
Yeah.
So I figured they do it all at the same time.
Yeah.
But then I went online and it was like, okay, get your things together and go down to the thing.
Right.
So I couldn't do it online. So I was like, now I'm just renew it. Why am I not renewing it? And I can have between now and 2027 to do the whole thing. But then I'll stall.
No, just go get your fucking real ID. Make an appointment and get your real ID. Take your passport, get your real ID.
I'm writing it with the side of the pen that doesn't work. Did you get yours?
Delicious Mick, get ID.
Well, here's the thing. Here's you. Oh, I have no problem getting my real ID. I've been having the Times delivered for $400 a year because I forgot to check my credit card.
Yeah.
You don't want to call your credit card company and go, I don't want to be a member of Schmicky Town anymore. Although you don't do it that way. How do you do it?
How do I do what?
Cancel the thing.
I had to actually call them, yeah.
One thing I did, which I think was the best thing I've ever done, only because you hectored me. Hectored me.
Good.
In a parking lot in Austin, Susan and I we signed up for Doctors Without Borders, and I said, I can't do this. It's $25 a month comes out of your thing. It's the greatest 25. I believe in that cause.
God bless you.
So I'm just trying to counteract the early impression of me that I was a cheap Jew.
Okay.
That you kept pounding in the with your nice chunk of change jokes.
I'm glad it worked.
See how? It's sad that I thought that was funny.
Mm.
What do you think of our? Okay, the reason why I was going to stop doing the Monday morning sports wrap up, and I replaced it with Tony Hinchcliffe.
That's good,
right? But why? Okay, I'm rooting for the Dodgers big time, right? Good.
Welcome aboard.
This guy is the greatest. This guy is the greatest player maybe of all time. Is it because he's a giant robot that he can't slide into second base? He separated his shoulder.
He stole 58 bases this year, Andy.
I know, 59 I thought. 58 maybe.
Whatever.
Right, but how come he doesn't get injured more if just sliding into a base, kind of funny, dislocates his shoulder? What's it called? A subluxation?
Yeah.
Have you ever disconnected? I've never. Have you?
I have, yeah. Hurts like a motherfucker.
Is it a full thing? Did you get a full thing?
I don't recall.
And were you also playing football or baseball? Is that how it happened?
There was roughhousing involved.
And it's just like, is it in complete pain so they pop it back in?
Yeah, and even after they pop it back in, it hurts pretty good for a while.
And do they put you out completely?
No.
Do you remember the moment where he popped it back in? He or she?
I do remember the feeling, yeah.
It was from a basketball game, wasn't it?
It was not. It was like I honestly can't remember. It was like
it was the absinthe night. That would be so. He's going to play, I think.
Yeah, he is.
So I don't really understand how you can why you can play. And Freddie Flintstone's leg is getting better. That's funny, Andy. His name is Freddie Freeman, but just like you say normally, you called him Freddie Flintstone. Just saving you from the trouble.
Thank you.
I like that Freddie Freeman. You know, people think I'm just a Mets fan. They don't care about me. They don't think anything about me.
Right.
But I've always kind
Except
of
for
liked
Seinfeld. He fucking hates you.
Yeah, but I expected to get an apology from him. Nothing.
What
What are you looking around for? Like something happened? Did you hear a noise?
I'm not going to answer that.
I went over to your house. I told you everybody about it, and I saw a little. And again, I know I mentioned this already, but Cody is like a little tiny rat. He's literally
Stop
rat,
saying
guys.
That. He's not a rat. I don't know what kind of fucking 12-pound rats you have in your house, but
oh, you haven't heard the story that happened many times of someone going down to Mexico and thinking that they were buying. Why did they go down there to get a dog? Is that what they claim?
Yeah.
And so only the dogs in Mexico would be
the Chihuahua
rats.
brokers of Tijuana.
How big is an actual full bred Chihuahua?
I don't know. I think they're smaller than what Cody is.
And do all those dogs that are that tiny like to have hair? And not your dog, but when they're with people, they always grow their hair out to make them look bigger.
Well, no, those are like crested dogs.
Crested?
Yes.
That's a word you made up because you know I won't understand it.
That's right.
Like crested butte?
Speaking in code.
What does it mean now? And you know I need
It means like that. It means the thing on top of the head. The sort of...
Oh, okay, cool. Well, you remember we had an argument, not an argument. It wasn't an argument. It was a discussion about how there was a whole movement that said we don't know what they're doing. We don't know what they're doing. But could they be showing affection? We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know. Well, that's all bullshit.
Yeah.
That's scientific bullshit. And it goes across the board. It used to be like that they're now analyzing birds singing. Not only do they could be even more, they could be communicating more than we are with language.
Right.
So yeah, yes, it's always a danger to say we're exactly like birds or whatever because they have complete different perceptual. They perceive something completely different than us. But the idea that all those years they were trying to argue, well, they made the same thing with. But
here's the thing.
Yeah.
There wasn't a single dog owner who believed them that their dogs didn't have an emotional life.
I know. That's true. That's true.
So it didn't hurt the dogs.
But there was this whole scientific thing. My dad used to argue with me about it like this. Well, you really can't say. We don't even know what thinking is. Thinking might not even exist. What do you mean the brain? Whenever he wanted to throw me off, he would just say, "We don't even know if we're here."
He couldn't say, "Can we talk about this later?"
So, this thing about birds, though, birds will lie. They will lie with their bird songs.
Yeah.
They will imitate the sound of a predator.
Sure.
So that, and then the other birds will, react appropriately. I don't know what appropriately would be.
That's where you get the phrase "crafty like a bird."
But didn't you were raised thinking that birds? I was raised thinking that birds were stupid, and you know why they're stupid? Because they can imitate you, but that's it.
They can imitate you, but that's it.
So I think that when I was a kid, I did think thought animals were stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, not stupid, but I mean, like generally, if you go to see a cow, they don't know, it's not going to be fun. But who the hell knows now?
What?
Stop that one. I didn't mean that. That's one. I can't remember what I just said. Here's the thing.
We used to believe that animals were stupid, so if you go to see a cow, it's not fun. I think it was pretty much the fact.
Here's what we were raised. We were raised to believe two things.
Were you raised to believe this?
We were raised to believe that there was one lassie, and that he did actually say, "Go to the well, go to the well." And with concern, he ran to the well. And then you thought that's all a lie. That never happens. But now, when you hear stories about dogs who have saved their owners from death or whatever, no, they actually do. But here's the other theory. They'll help you.
But that wasn't
they get hungry.
That wasn't invented by Lassie. The fact that dogs were loyal and smart like that was exploited by Lassie.
That's exploited by Lassie. Yes. Yeah, because it just anthropomorphized in the worst way, to the benefit of humans. You know what I mean? It does,
but I've seen some really fucking smart dogs in my life, and people.
Oh no, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I don't know. No, did I sound like I was arguing differently?
No, I'm just saying that it's not. It's obviously Lassie was exaggerated as to in terms of the critical thinking skills of the dog.
Exactly.
But it wasn't so exaggerated that there's some incredibly smart, intuitive, human-tuned dogs.
Right. And you're talking to a guy who was raised... I'm just kidding. You're talking to a guy who talked to his cat for years. Every once in a while, Opsy, the cat I grew up with, every once in a while, trying to cut through it. Come on, Opsy. You hear, right?
Right.
And expecting some
cats will never give it up for you.
They purr though. They purr. They're like a purr box.
Yeah.
So you know that they're enjoying themselves. Maybe.
Right.
But this was a true crime. It's called The Most Notorious, and the guy does really great true crime things. And the only bad habit he has, it's just a part of his personality, is when someone's done every once in a while, he would go, okay. In other words, like it sounded like he wasn't responding to it, but he really is plugged in to true crime, and I'm recommending it for everybody. I don't know. There's nothing to recommend anymore, but he is good.
What's it called?
The most notorious.
Okay.
I don't like that name either, but I like shows. Some of the shows that have, instead of like a podcast about the Son of Sam, someone who's written a book about the Son of Sam is talking to someone who's intelligently interviewing them. I do enjoy that.
I'm glad that someone still clings to expertise in this world.
No, what you're saying is very, very true. We are completely different people, because I am the person who would say, well, I thought the dog was nice, but now science has proved, because I was overly influenced by science.
I was raised to believe that dogs dumb as rocks. It was an orthodoxy in our house. Andy, what do I say about dogs?
Dumb as rocks, Dad.
That's right.
But the same argument has been made about many neuroscientists that claim there's no actual thing going on in our personality. It's just a chemical thing. Thinking is just a chemical thing. There's nothing else. There's nothing else going on. It doesn't have any significance, because we don't know we don't know how language arises. We don't know how these things arise between people, or how they arise. So we just assume. What was I saying at the beginning of it? Was it good?
Well, don't ask me for that.
Oh shit! No. The point I'm making is an actual, just scientists believe that that there'll never be a meaning ascribed to thought. There will never be a meaning ascribed to thought, and that we shouldn't think that there would be a meaning.
What does that mean? I don't understand.
Well, we've had this argument before, so I don't want it to be an argument. How do the electric impulses and chemical things that go on actually end up forming thoughts in your mind? And what are thoughts?
Sure.
And they don't know what causes thoughts. They don't know where they come from. They have a million different theories about it, but they don't know exactly how. All the, like, you can show sound waves. We've shown sound waves, but we haven't been able to say how those sound waves,
electrical impulses you're talking about in the brain.
Whatever it is. Yeah. What? Oh, well, yeah. Yes. But we never have been able to figure out exactly the process, how it becomes intelligible, and how we're able. And some scientists say it's not interesting. It doesn't matter, and I don't agree with that. I think it does matter, but that's because I'm interested in philosophy. I'm interested in philosophy, but I don't talk about it well because I get nervous.
Yeah.
I talk about it well if I've read the thing earlier. But we've had this discussion before, and I thought something about how I'm saying it. Maybe one of the listeners, like Delicious Mick, will help me out. But the idea, like when I'm reading this scientist's book, and he's saying they don't know, no matter what you hear, they don't know what causes thoughts. Now, what some scientists are saying is it doesn't matter. It's nonsense. All this thought is nonsense in our heads. We think there's importance to it. We're assigning importance to it, but it could just be random firings that we think have meaning.
Yeah, that's where I fall off, because they aren't, because we know that they aren't, because we can communicate with one another.
No, we know we can communicate, but we don't know why. We don't know why. We don't know how the electric impulse turns into a thought.
Yeah, I believe that. I mean,
okay. So I finally was able to explain it in a way
that part I understand.
Right. So,
but I don't. But I'm not sure that there's scientists going, it doesn't matter, or it doesn't.
Well, there are, because scientists aren't interested in emotions. They're not interested. They say emotions mean nothing. So there's a whole form of like.
Not my friend Maslow.
Right, the priority of needs, the hierarchy of needs.
Yes.
But the point is that just like the movement went in psychology that said it doesn't matter how you raise your kids, doesn't matter. It's all it does. They're wrong.
Yeah,
They're
but
wrong.
that wasn't the convention ever. I mean, that was a school, a small school of thought says it doesn't matter.
Not small. It was pretty big in the 70s. It was like people were actually walking around going, what are you going to do? You can't do anything.
No, it was more they were just fucking self-absorbed. It wasn't a philosophy. It was like, I'm busy.
Yeah. No, but I mean, my father would make the argument like, you think you're existing because you think you're existing. But some philosophers will argue that you're not existing,
sure.
Which is true. But
these conversations are best left to stoned people in a small room.
Right, or people with knowledge, not a 45-year-old man and a 15-year-old kid who's struggling. Well, how old was my... Oh, I think I got it right.
Was he 30?
My dad was 30 years older than me.
There you go.
But I stumbled. I actually stumbled on the right information there.
That's good.
I didn't know it was right.
I think you knew. Deep down, you knew.
What else am I watching? I'm watching a spin-off of Southern Charm. Southern Charm.
I would ask that. I would sooner ask, what do you do for fun, than I would ask, what do you watch?
Yeah, but every once in a while, over the course of the history of the show, we've had enjoyable moments talking about things that we discovered. And then the readers, people read this show?
They read into this show.
And then the people, the lovely listeners go, oh, Josh really likes this book. I'm going to check it out. Andy likes a book. Don't check that out because he's a mo. The first two letters of moron are more, like more. Do you think before I die that on my deathbed will I think like the scarecrow that I just accept that I have a brain, or you think it'll be like, what's happening? Am I dying? Where's God? I believed in God at one point. Where is he? For Christ?
I can't die till I'm smart.
Daddy,
don't let me die, stupid.
Kindler came up with the general theory of relativity because his father made him feel stupid, so he was driven. And you know what? My father stopped making fun of your father.
On his deathbed, he finally got the fuck over it.
Well, that's my hope. That's one of my deathbed hopes. My deathbed hopes is, I'm sure you've done the same thing. Come closer, Josh, come closer. Susan, have Josh come closer. Josh.
He's too elitist to come closer.
I only drank 1 cup of coffee. I didn't go into my thermos today.
Oh, interesting.
I usually go into the thermos. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? Do you know that Ice Cube's... Did you see the game? Was it Ice Cube at the game?
Yeah, that was badass. That was badass, in my opinion.
Right. But I think Ice Cube is the one who was meeting with Trump. Or maybe I'm getting it wrong.
No, Kanye did.
No, Ice Cube too.
Maybe, but he probably had an agenda. It wasn't too...
No. He said that the Democratic Party is not dealing well with us, and we have to go to the Republican Party.
All right. Maybe he did, but it was still badass.
No, you're absolutely right. It was badass. And I don't hold his current views against how the whole crowd was. I mean, it's very hard to do that, right? I mean, I do it.
Yeah, sure.
I've rapped
you
before
captivate like that. Yeah, sure.
I make a connection.
You come in through the bullpen
people.
door and fucking walk alone across an entire baseball field while rapping. I was fucking mad.
He could also seem to hear what he was saying.
He had ear monitors, yeah.
Oh, that's right. The ear monitors work no matter how big the place is. It's just in your ear. You can hear the right balance. You're getting
the actual feed, yeah.
Yes. Who came up with that? I found out who came up with that. A musician came up with it. It's not like Jerry Lewis coming up with the video assist.
Right.
Oh, it's the Grateful Dead who had what they call their wall of sound.
Right. They needed to be able to hear the difference between the reverberation and the source.
They came up with a lot of innovations, not the Grateful Dead themselves, but the people who did because Owsley was involved, the LSD guy, and he was pretty cool. And I just wanted to say, I'm very sorry that Phil Lesh died. And not only am I sorry that Phil Lesh died, it hit me weird. Almost like, you did it because you listened to that audiobook, didn't you? But it made me feel like
solipsism can be fun.
It is fun. But it made me want to, like, I am going to read about it. But in that one moment, it made me just weirdly sad.
Yeah.
Like, it's like you're living with something for a while, and so it's coming back to life for you now.
Right, yeah. You happened to be in that world when it happened.
It's amazing that, it's amazing that he was 84 because he had hepatitis and he had to have
liver transplant.
Yes, and he lived way longer than they thought he would.
Yeah.
He, according to the book I read, which was not written after he died, he's a problem. No.
He died Friday. He died Friday.
Right, that's true. Okay. But he was not he was very unpleasant in many, many ways. Even though I love him. I love Phil Lesh.
Yeah.
But he got unpleasant.
Never seem, I mean, I'm not a huge fan, but I'm not like,
what?
I'm not an anti, but I'm not an anti,
Yeah, that's true. That's not.
But their thing was so much about music, and it seems like it was not that much about the hang at all.
Right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. First of all, they were very alienated by all the hippies. They didn't know what to make of them.
Yeah.
And they tried to separate. They kind of mocked them in many ways.
But I just mean that I feel like the main relationship that they had with one another was via music rather than
friendship.
Than humanity. Yeah.
Yeah. Except for the fact that, like, Garcia did take like Bob Weir under his wing, and he was the leader of the band, and all that kind of stuff. But towards the end of the book, there's like Phil Lesh is on one side playing bass as loud as he can, and Bob Weir can. This is way after they died, but at that big Fare Thee Well tour that they did,
and Lesh could play some intrusive bass if he wanted to.
He could play intrusive bass, but he also could play. Here's the thing I wanted to say if I haven't said it already. When I was watching something about the Dead, and Phil Lesh it's from this book, and Phil Lesh was saying is the main difference between we did more listening than anything else. And that is absolutely true about them. Or any great group that you might like that improvises a jazz group.
Right.
They are listening to what the other people are doing. And it's not easy. Man, I was with my strumming guitar in college. I didn't have that sense of dynamics. And they really do.
Well, yeah, and I think that, what differentiates them from a lot of bands is that each night they're trying to create a new moment.
Yes, that's all that's important.
As opposed to recreate a moment, like so many bands are trying to do for the audience.
And that's true of Bob Weir now. He plays every night, everywhere, and so he still loves music and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But what do I say about Phil Lesh? It's amazing that you can, about transplants in general. Like if you told me in 1900, well, we'll just take out the liver and we'll put in I don't think that's possible.
As a man with one kidney, I'm all for it.
It's so great. But, do you think that was it first tried with the heart?
Huh?
Did they first try it with the heart?
I don't know what the first transplanted organ was, honestly.
But the fact that they tried it with the heart and all these things, I'm sure made your thing go smoother because they know a lot of things that...
Well, I didn't get a transplant. I just had one removed.
Okay, wait a second. Why am I...
I'm just saying, as a guy who's only working on one, I'm glad that transplants work.
I don't know why I thought that you had a transplant. No. But wait a second. I think Selena Gomez had to have one because she has lupus.
Okay.
It's not a transplant. It's not a transplant. It was donated from a friend of hers.
Okay. So yeah, that's a transplant.
Yeah. That's a kid. But that's because.
But I don't know why you confuse me and Selena Gomez in this.
I do often because they're both attractive.
Uh-huh.
You both have big followings in the Latino community.
Uh-huh. And neither of us want to take your call.
I've had some of my own trials lately. I had a kidney taken out not long ago. Yeah, because a bet's a bet. kidney cancer. I did. And I don't anymore. I'm cancer-free now. But thank you very much. Thank you. The only lingering effect is occasional pity applause. I'm doing swell. I was very, very lucky through this whole thing. What happened was my colon ruptured. That wasn't so lucky in and of itself. That hurts a lot. Actually, don't get that. Don't get that at all. Went into the hospital for that. They actually told my wife, yeah, this is more painful than childbirth, which gave her permission to feel bad for me suddenly. And so they put me in the CAT scan machine, and my kidney, photobombed my colon. And they're like, you might want to have that checked out. Your kidney just gave us the finger. So I went, they did all the colon stuff, fixed me up there, got out of the hospital, went to another doctor. He looks at my scans. He's like, yes, that's kidney cancer. We're going to have to take out your kidney, but it's not urgent. I'm like, yeah, we can wait a week. You tricked me, motherfucker. That is urgent. It's not like it was a fun week either. It's not like I could take my kidney out for one last blast, run all the finest bottled waters of Europe through it, No, it's like filling out forms and all these depressing questions. Like, if something happens during surgery, do you want us to take heroic measures? Well, I want you to save me. If you need to be all self-aggrandizing about it, that's cool, but maybe just fucking do your job. How about that? More specific, they're like, well, what we really want to know is what do you want us to do if you end up brain dead after the operation? I'm like, whoa, that sounds like more of my wife's problem. But please, do me a favor, when you ask her, give her a yogurt or something first. No, she's a huge bitch when she's hungry. And I just don't need to be like, Mrs. Weinstein, we need to. She's like, pull the plug! And I'm like, okay, I was going to say give him a bath, but we need the bed, I felt like I handled the cancer news okay. It's like, okay, you can handle this, and you're okay. You're used to your hair falling out. You're used to smoking pot to feel better. You can do this shit. But there wasn't that much shit to deal with. It was just the operation mostly, So I was really just worried about going to the hospital and being fucked with all the time and poked and prodded and all that. That's no fun. You just have to be zen. And they rolled me into the operating room, and there's 9 people over in the corner. None of them are talking to me. I guess for the same reason you don't name the lobster in the tank at the restaurant. So finally, the anesthesiologist comes over and goes, I'm Dr. Jensen, I'm just going to give you this little shot. In a few minutes, you're going to start to feel completely out. Then the gang moves in on me and starts fucking with me, shaving half my belly and sticking a tube up my dick. Yeah, it's worse than passing out at a frat party. I wouldn't have been surprised to wake up with a cock sprawl on my forehead and sharpening, But I made it. I woke up, tried to remember my social security number. It was there. Did a little grudge inventory. All there. Moved on with life. I'm now a cancer survivor, I guess. That's cool, I guess. It's not, I don't see it as a character trait. I see it as I'm just fucking lucky, I hate the way that people talk about cancer because it's always in battle terms. He's battling cancer. John McCain is cancer's most worthy foe, even though he's 83 fucking years old and has had cancer 4 times. It's always so much. It's like you have to. I have cancer now. I have to be fucking brave and fight a battle. Fuck you. No, the doctors are fighting the battle. I'm the battlefield. I hate it when it's like people died. Oh, they weren't brave enough. I guess. Fuck you. Well, when people say you beat cancer to me, I'm like, that is way too cocky. I feel like I met cancer in a dark alley, threw my kidney on the ground and backed away slowly. That's as brave as I can fucking be.
Okay, that was just...
So you're just going to push any button? It's red. Press it.
How could I have gotten this old with this operating system? You know what I mean? Haven't I gotten any updates? In fact, all I said was, I have to close some windows. There's FaceTime. I'll close FaceTime. I didn't understand that FaceTime was connected. I should by now.
You'd think, but we move on.
The thing I'm worried about is...
You know what, Andy? There's always kinks in the slinky. You can laugh on Mike. It's okay.
But then I'll get into smacking. I don't want to get into smacking.
Oh, shit.
Can't be how I responded. So, can you believe all the things? What's up with politics today, folks? You can't tell the boys from the girl. I mean, you can't tell the Republican. Whew. Do you think there was ever a time when there was like a Johnny Carson type atmosphere where people went after the left? And now here's one for the right.
Yeah, it was.
It was Johnny Carson.
There was plenty of that before fucking social media.
Yeah, exactly. You know, in many ways, I would like to go back to the time
before the age of instant mass death threats. There was a lot more freedom to play both sides.
I'd like to. Sometimes I wish I would go back to those the salad days or the quieter days, where people didn't say "shove it up your asshole, Jew."
Oh, that goes back before social media, actually.
Oh God! Oh, here's what I was going to talk to you about. It's very important. It has to be in place of everything else. Is that I forgot what I was going to say now. Oh, I'm upgrading my earworm. I'm upgrading my earworm.
Your earworm, which is
So it's like I can't even think of the song I was singing yesterday. It was just like it could be Candyman. Candyman, he's about the one to dishes. So I'm upgrading it, but I can't remember the example.
That's good.
Oh, God. This is bad. I can't. No. There's like some song. Okay, here's the thing.
How about this? Old man, look at my life. I'm a lot like you.
He's not a lot like him. It's the same thing with Paul Simon looking at the 70-year-old people. He's not like them. In fact, he's saying, I'm so unlike you, I'm going to write a song mocking you.
Yes, but he actually says, imagine. Can you imagine us years from today?
That's right. Gives it a little bit of belief. And then the other person goes, no, because I'm going to commit suicide. I swear to God.
Have you seen Garfunkel lately? Oh, my God. It just 100% proves my theory. And both Simon and Garfunkel are examples of it. That every Jewish man eventually becomes Henry Kissinger.
Hold on, I got to get a tissue. Don't say anything funny.
Don't worry.
So, do I look like Henry Kissinger?
You're on the tipping point. You look older in person than on the Zoom. I'll tell you that much.
That's because I have makeup over here and all kinds of stuff.
Right.
Oh man.
Smack.
So here's the thing: when you're doing the earworm, you for some reason songs I hate. I can't stop doing them. The worse they are.
It doesn't. I mean, I have. It, I'm just like last song I heard. It's there. That's pretty much my. I have to sometimes do forensic diving to figure out how it got there.
But why can't the earworm be me learning Ave Maria or something? Does that make sense?
For your next Trump rally.
First of all, I think all bets are off now because Steve, what I like to call the layered revolutionary, he's a revolutionary in layers. Bannon is out now.
Right.
Bannon is out.
3 shirts to the wind.
You know what's amazing about Bannon is that for years before all this stuff happened, he had Trump. He would talk to Trump every day, I think. Every day he would talk to Trump on his stupid show.
Right.
And those two were like a regular Algonquin table. All right, it's just that I thought I could bring something fresh because, folks, you're going to be voting tomorrow. When you hear this, you're going to be voting tomorrow. And I just wanted to for those of you who haven't voted yet, and if you live in California, here are the following recommendations. Prop 33. What is it? What should I do? I don't know what to do. I'm panicking. Prop 33.
When in doubt, vote no, is my general opinion with the propositions in the state.
But you voted already. You could give me some.
I did. I don't remember what I went to a couple of, voter guide sites, got their take.
I actually get some help from the actual booklet. Because if you see Jarvis's name,
right.
Forget it. Jarvis. Truth in Government Act. Jarvis.
Dead.
Who's he's dead too, right?
No, I just mean it's dead.
Jacob
you see
Jarvis. But or charter schools. That's the one. Charter schools.
Yes.
Oh no, we're not trying to close your regular schools. We just like charter schools. And so there's a guy I'm voting for, and his name is Scott Schmier. I think his name is Scott Schmielson. He's probably the same guy you voted for. I mean, you're not that far from me, 4 blocks.
Right. And
the other guy's name is Dan Chang. And Dan Chang is sponsored by the Republicans. But he says things like, I'm a Democrat. And then he has the last one was a picture of Michelle Obama on the front.
Yeah.
How can you not like me? Look at Michelle Obama. The other one that has been happening for years, and I would like to see who these people are, and I'd like to yell at them and to their face, are the people who every year, it's like, aren't the gasoline is too expensive in California with all the taxes, and so what do you think of that? I don't even know what they're advocating for. Just be more excited about drilling or something. And then they so that's their whole thing. I don't know who they are exactly.
Yeah.
They're the oil companies, I assume.
They're tied in. You can pretty much.
You're paying so much. You're paying $45 on you. Hey, do you know? Can you imagine what the air in this state would look like if we hadn't?
50% of your each gallon goes to a sex change operation.
Look, I don't like to laugh at when hatred is used to get votes. I don't want to make the point that that's funny because it's not funny. It's disgusting. And they had these commercials where,
"Oi, Trump I never liked, but at least he'll protect us."
But they had these commercials where literally there's a guy who has smeared lipstick on himself. And so that's not a transgender person in that commercial.
No, that's just
it's somebody who went out to the park,
kissed a woman.
And then they have the other commercials. Hi, I'm Kamala Harris. If you go to jail, you will be able to have all great operations if you are transgendered. Get in there now. It's like this. It couldn't have been that negative.
They, them. He's for you.
They, them.
Yes.
He's for they, them. As if that's the thing that's the worst thing. And you know what the worst goddamn thing part about it is? They don't want to be called Mr. or Ms., Mrs. They want to be called they and them. Right. Isn't that terrible?
And they won't say Merry Christmas either.
Do you realize it wasn't that long ago that O'Reilly was still getting juice out of the the war on Christmas?
Yeah.
Not so much now. Okay, I'm sorry about that.
All right.
No, I'm not sorry about it. What I am, I'll tell you what I am.
Do tell.
You gave me a new acting reaction face there. You looked at me sideways. Well, one thing I have noticed, and it's I'm up higher today, so you never have to see my. But here's the thing: I'm just asking you, what am I doing? Am I reaching for things? Do I reach for things in an upper shelf and slide my hand, slide my
through
arm?
A cheese grater box?
Yes.
A box grater?
Why am I? Why does everything have to be? Oh, I can't think of the name of the thing that used to chop up stuff. We gave it away.
Food processor?
When the people moved it. Oh, maybe you wouldn't have liked it. A 20-year-old.
I'm never taking a fucking free thing from you again.
It's so much. Who could have imagined a bottle of booze would cause so much storm and drang?
It just
storm and drang.
It felt like a setup, really. It really felt like a setup.
Well, look. Here's the thing. You're lucky I don't do pranks like George Clooney and those guys who are rich, so they can do pranks.
You just can't remember the prank you were doing is the problem.
But I'm going to send you something.
Why am I crouched by his foot with a match?
I don't even understand. I have no idea I have no idea how that could have been constructed.
It's a hot
from
foot.
Words.
You're giving someone a hot foot, and you forgot.
We're horrible. You know, what I think about it is like,
why am I remaking this person's bed? Does that work? Is that better? The short sheet joke?
That's good. I like that. But you know, when I think of
why am I on a ladder with a bucket of water above a door right now? Is anything?
Why is there a big glass of warm water by my bed? I asked you to bring me a glass of water for my hand last night. Did you bring me warm water? I love the society that has nothing better to do than wait till the others are asleep and get them to piss in their pants.
Not really so much a society as it is like summer camp, which is pretty much the only time you're sleeping in a room with other kids.
But, you know, we wonder how we ended up with Trump, but then we're in a country that thinks a hot foot is funny. First of all, there's no such thing as a hot foot outside of commercials. I mean, outside of cartoons, right?
I believe it existed at a certain point, yes. I think matches were a much bigger part of life for everybody at a certain point.
So you would just you would strike a match and put it underneath someone's big toe? Is that what you would do?
You put like a book of matches, and then you light it, and it flares up.
But where's the hot foot stuff? Okay, here's what I'm also saying. Why
shoes were thick? Shoes were thicker back then too. It was.
Do you think if they had higher quality, if they weren't making them from kids, these pranks would have been taken off faster? Onion gum. What's up? What's happening with Harrison over there? I gave him the onion gum. What? I gave him the onion gun. I says. And what were those X-ray specs? They weren't even. Oh, they were just nothing, right? They were just joke glasses.
I don't know what they actually accomplished. I never actually bought a pair.
I know you had a joy.
I know they weren't producing X-rays. I know that much.
Did you or did you not have?
It was weird when I went to the oncologist and he was wearing them. Speaking of the oncologist, we were talking about my kidney at the end of last show, and so I played.
Right, I played your kidney was transplanted.
I played the cancer bit during the thing just to fill people in on what it was.
Okay,
but thinking about that, it occurs to me that my bit about my cancer has basically replaced the trauma of my cancer in my head. Which I'm not sure is healthy or not. Like, it could go either way. But I do realize that when I think about it, it's like the story is the jokes now in my head.
That, like any great stand-up I want to do. Did I almost die? Let me get it in my act.
It took me 3 weeks to have 5 minutes on stage.
But you also, I would have to say, it was certainly cathartic. That had to be cathartic.
Well, apparently it was, because like I said, it's replaced the trauma. It really is. The story now is the one with jokes.
You can't even remember any details.
No, I remember the details, but they don't hit
as hard as
they don't hit like PTSD ways, you know.
Right. But what you also probably can't recall is how freaked out you were, right?
Well, it was a weird. I wasn't that freaked out, is the thing, because of just the way it went down.
Right, the handwritten letter that's delivered to you.
Well, no, I mean, I was freaked out when the colon stuff happened.
Oh, right,
because that was much more a physical trauma, you know?
Yeah.
But I had gotten so prepped during those few months by people going, you should get your kidney looked at, blah, 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 you know, that I was like pretty much braced for
you were braced that it was going to be bad.
And then when I actually visited the nephrologist, it was just such a quick it was like, let me look at your MRI. Yes, you have cancer, and we're going to have to take your kidney out. You know, it was and that's what's going to happen. So it wasn't like, you know, it was just presented very much like this is what it is. This is what we're going to do. And
yes,
you know, so there wasn't. It was kind of like that time where you go, what's going to happen? Yeah, was so compact.
Right. That was probably good in a way.
My brain
right?
didn't go spinning very much, you know. Yeah. I had to brace myself to have an operation, but for some reason I didn't think this is it. I'm going to die, you know.
Yeah. Man oh man alive is what I say.
And I've also just dealt with so much cancer in my life with other people that that the word itself didn't really freak me out. You know,
right. See, I always imagine
my first thought is when I hear cancer is, okay, what's the next step?
Yes.
What are we going to do? And because that was provided for me so quickly, along with the fact that chemo and radiation and those things weren't going to be a part of it.
That's pretty amazing. You had none of that? Nothing?
None of that, no.
Wow, that was really great.
So it was like, my fear was, because of all the cancer situations I had been through, my immediate fear was my life is going to become about me having cancer.
Right.
And that just wasn't the case.
Yeah. So that's really good.
Very, very lucky in that regard.
You're also very lucky to have a friend like me. You know what I'm saying? Who can fill in.
Who years later can try to remember what happened.
I remember when you got a kidney transplant.
What?
Well, first of all, the transplant. I don't understand why I was all thinking it was a transplant. Nor do I understand.
I think it's because you're a bad friend, isn't it?
I think I am a bad friend. That's true. Because I remember Allison called me up, saying, you know, Josh is in the hospital. Will you just, first of all, slow down, sweetie?
It's not over the hill, is it?
How, Sarah? Is it you better come down today or you might not see him again? Tell me what it is, sweetie. I don't know why I call Allison sweetie.
That's okay. I think it would be comforting for her at a time of stress.
Sweetie, you want me to have a show business guy? What's wrong, sweetie? What's the matter, sweetie?
Come here, Toots.
Come here, Toots. So, as we approach you know what I'm hoping for this weekend is, that maybe I could watch a whole block of undecided voters. Maybe they'll have like all weekend long. Just each reporter could pick 5 people that they've met in their town.
Right.
Because the thing is sorry.
No, that's okay.
Nothing. The thing that's most hilarious about that is how this phony thing of like that we would ever be sitting around with people with these kind of horrible views debating. You know what I mean? People really couldn't figure out who to vote for.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know what my point was, but it was really good.
All right, let's ruminate on it.
No, I thought you had some. I thought you were going to jump in. Oh God, it's so tenuous. You know, I think that's the thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's next week is going to be an interesting show because the first one will be Monday before the election, the second will be Friday when we're in the
I can't do anything on Monday. I'm not doing anything on Monday.
Flaming insurrection.
I'm going to be packed by next Monday night. I will be packed. I will have and here's the things I think I definitely need: a compass, a protractor.
Uh-huh.
I need powdered, and the main thing is having powdered drinks of some type.
Yeah.
And then I'm going, baby. I'm going right to my friends in Okay, maybe I'm going to go. I was just going to make up a couple of like I can't go anywhere thing. Will we be trapped? Here's my first fallback position. I'm in California. They can't hurt me here.
Yeah. There's something to that. There really is.
I'm telling you right now, Josh.
I know that I have not become a true, I've said this many times, I have not it wasn't until the Trump era that I truly embraced and loved LA, really.
Right. Oh, is that really true? So
it really is true.
Oh.
I always felt, I mean, I was, I liked it here because of the life I have, but I didn't truly like internalize being a Californian. Right. An Angelino. In fact, we got to get out of here because I got a parade to get to. But
I have someone holding my place.
Okay, good.
On 6th Street.
I'm on Figueroa.
We love it. Susan did. I'm not going to sell her out, but she did tape some of the parade today. I'm not sure why. We're going to watch this parade.
It hasn't started yet. How did she tape it?
That's why she has it all covered. All today on Channel 4 for some reason.
She set the DVR for the parade?
Yeah, and on Channel 4. I don't know why it would be on Channel 4. Is it on Channel 4? It would
be on Channel 4, sure. Local.
Why is Trisha Toyota still there? That's all I want to know.
I used to work among all those people when I worked at NBC. So.
Oh, like Trisha Toyota and all those people? That must have been
local
fun.
Local news is based out of there as well.
Oh, that's so good. Did you have any talks with anybody?
Yeah, there was a few I would, because I saw them enough, we didn't stop and chat for a long time. But,
is there anybody you can say this guy was really...
But I could confidently say hi to Colleen Needles. Give a nod to Paul Moyer.
Paul Moyer, I used to think was the guy he looks like. Tom Snyder or something.
Yeah,
Wasn't that the thing?
There was a lot. They came
from
the same broadcaster gene pool for sure.
Why did that happen? Why is there a Mike Douglas and a Merv Griffin? I can see one. I can't see both. If I had to pick one, I'd pick Merv Griffin because he has more range. He comes up with game shows. Uh-huh. And, I don't know. Is he a better interviewer than Mike Douglas? No, I think Mike Douglas. Is he a better singer than Mike Douglas?
Yes.
Merv Griffin?
Yes. Not a lot.
Wait, I can't remember now. Was Merv Griffin a singer?
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
He was?
Sure.
He was boom. Even better than Mike Douglas. Mike Douglas was a what was he from? The Irish in him. He'd be there, just pounding. Isn't Mike Douglas Irish?
I don't know.
I can't figure out where everyone's from now. I wish that you had been with me in Miami when I was a kid. When all the
Miami is the greatest city in the world.
All of the grandparents, friends, all the friends of my Jewish grandmother were calling up. Do you see Mike Douglas today? He was making potato latkes.
Meanwhile,
they were just calling her. Oh, yes, I know the potato latkes. I saw it. I don't understand. I don't think
Grandma, watch the potato latkes while you're going through her medicine cabinet.
Yeah, look, if you are 12 or 13, or how old was I? 14, 12, 11, and you are doing the same thing that I do, which is a lot of fun. Go through your grandmother's cabinets, see what's good, is usually the ones that are like Arvern, Arvan, they may, something like that might work. But don't go for blood thinners. Don't go for...
Grandma, my rheumatiz just went away.
I've told you the story a million times about how it's still my favorite story of my childhood, of what the kind of family I came from, where I had walked on the beach and got mud all over my sneakers. Mm-hmm. And the beaches were terrible at that time down there. I don't know what they're like now, but there was tar all over my shoes. Uh-huh. So I bring my sneakers back and I try and rinse them off in the shower with my grandmother's shower. Uh-huh. And all it does is reveal the invisible mat that was on the floor that they put on there. Uh-huh. Now it just looked like you could see the mat. And my grandmother was like, "Oh no, they must have come in when you were." No, you didn't do that. They came in when you were away, and they put down the thing. They put down. It was like I didn't know. I was very happy I escaped.
Yeah.
But that just shows you the kind of childhood I had, because that would have been the worst thing in the world.
Your grandma had your back.
Oh, you think that's what she did?
Yes.
Oh, I don't think you did that. They must have come in. So you're saying my grandma had my back. Whoa. I never saw it that way.
I know.
I saw her as disconnected. Here's where my grandmother was.
I think she had your back.
That's cool. Then. No, that's not the way it would be with her. Maybe. Maybe you saw the one day when my grandmother was, but here's the way she would be like.
Grandparents much nicer to grandkids than their actual kids.
That's absolutely true. There's no question about that, and I did get that from my grandmother. But my grandmother was very much like that Seinfeld episode where, are you playing Are you playing any mahjong? I can't play with these people. These people don't know they don't know how to play. Apparently, that's a difficult sport. Right. Or canaster. They don't know how to play.
It's like a Kindler tradition. These people are too stupid for me.
My grandma, that's the way she was. Oh. It's like everything was like, I think she thought she was the star of her own play or something, and everybody was coming.
That's what the family narcissism gene brings to the table.
But my grandmother was pretty good to me. My grandfather was just the greatest on that side of the family. He's just the sweetest man.
Yeah.
Sweetest, most gentle man. Went fishing with me. We caught nothing. Took me to the monkey jungle. And what kind of a thing? If I was in charge of, I would try to convince them. Did you say monkey jungle? I think that's closed, right? Right, Alice? Didn't they close the monkey? Because the monkey jungle was horrible. It seemed like it took 7 hours to get there, but it didn't. It must have just seemed that way. Yeah. And when you get in there, it's a lot of monkeys in there.
Yeah, and they swarm. Is it a drive-through thing?
No, you walk through. You walk through the monkeys. Oh man!
What was it more fun then?
More fun than a barrel of monkeys, right?
Oh, okay.
But that's an image that's good enough. I don't think it's going to hold up hundreds of years from now. Why are you putting the monkeys in their barrel? We'll say, have I turned into retired George Carlin?
Retired, you said?
Yeah, retired.
Okay. I thought I heard another word.
What did you say? Tired? Did you say retarded?
No, that's what I heard.
I don't. You heard? I've never used that word, so you wouldn't get it from me because I'm better than other people. I come from a generation where I'm better. I went to the Peace Corps.
Everybody's too stupid for you.
Everyone's too stupid. I went to the Peace Corps with Sergeant Shriver, and what did my grandmother get from? What kind of joy did you get from knowing these people?
Why aren't you Lieutenant Shriver by now?
Hey, I don't know what you're trying to defeat, but you certainly aren't going to, if you can't raise your rank. I'm going to ask you as a second lieutenant.
How low is your parents' expectation for you if they name you after an enlisted man?
What are you talking about?
Sergeant Shriver.
I don't understand that. There are a lot of people named Lieutenant. Like, I had a couple of friends named Lieutenant Colonel.
Well, Louis. They go by Louis.
There's things that, upon examination, won't hold up well.
Uh-huh.
I forgot what they were at the time.
Your first album, your second album.
All right. If this isn't, if this isn't dementia, what's happening? It's not much better.
No.
So
no.
Can I get some of the?
My doctor said I had a lateral move from dementia. I don't feel better.
My doctor said, I said, I can't remember anything. Try to think of something else. She said, try to think of something else. You always have to know what's going on. Okay, so that guy knows it's Tuesday. You don't. So what?
Is he winning?
I'm higher today. What do you think? It looks better?
Huh?
I'm higher up on the thing today.
You're really not. You still got 50% headspace going on there.
Oh, well, yeah.
Oh God, you just got just got taller.
I don't understand the framing of me. That should be the name of my book. I have to blow my nose once again.
All right.
Don't do anything like you do normally. Like, I don't want to hear a rhinoceros. I'm serious this time.
You provided your own.
Yeah. You were an expert in the old days of this kind of of the Three Stooges, right?
Was I an expert in it? How do you mean?
Well, you were at the sleeping sound. You were probably up the. Comedy was simpler back then, and also more complicated.
It's true.
Because how many times could you see a piano fall on Stan Laurel's head?
Just the one.
Not his head.
Yeah.
You told me what we were watching the sort of, and they were terrible plots in the Laurel and Hardy Saturday
I just saw the one where it was just like this bad hack fest on a dock.
Well, here's the thing that's bad about that. Let's say they got tired. Wouldn't they get tired of it? And they're getting hurt and injured. I mean, it's like just because people are fake punching you in the face, it doesn't mean that 12 times an hour something gets through.
Neither of them got hurt in this. The only people that got hurt were us watching.
Right, but don't you think that like the Stooges were purposely more violent, right?
Yeah.
So I imagine they had to have gotten more injuries.
I'm sure at some point they went, Jesus Christ, Mo, for fuck's sake.
Look, I thought you were going to hit him with the what did they used to hit him over the head with if it didn't like a bottle that breaks?
Sure.
But in their case, they had low budget.
A mallet.
I told you why I can't use breakaway glass. It's fucking expensive. Now get back out there. And throw this, what are these things called? Throw a mason jar over at Stan right now. Am I done?
I think so.
Oh my God. This is some of my best work. I think I'm on today.
Uh-huh.
If not today, then when? You know what? Everything is just, this is what I'm doing. Treading water.
I feel it.
Treading water.
More than that, I hear it.
Until Tuesday. No, here's my lip service.
That's the only reason I'm forgiving you is because it's a very tumultuous time right now.
Otherwise, you'd be all over me?
I would.
Like, okay, let's say, what would you do to get me on to the next level?
Let's go to questions.
Okay, let's do that. That would be good.
It's time for questions. What do you want to know? We love your questions so much. It's half our show. Half our show.
You had a look on your face that was like
acting.
Acting.
Treat Pahara wants to know any thoughts on Jay Johnston getting 366 days in prison.
Well, I do have thoughts about it, and I was even going to talk to you this week about it, but I said it felt like piling on.
Why?
Because here's the thing. I want to have empathy for him, but I find it very hard to have empathy for him, and especially when he dresses up as the QAnon shaman for a Halloween party. Yeah. 2 years after the event, there's a picture of him dressed up like that QAnon shaman.
Right.
Because it's so hilarious.
Well, he lost you by being a hack, not a terrorist. That's great.
No. I mean, I still have this naive part of me that just, that guy seemed happy. Well, that guy's funny.
I think
that guy's funny.
I think there's a lot of people who have people in their life like that where they just can't understand how they went around the bend.
Usually they're unsuccessful actors. You know what I mean? That's how you like John.
Well, people have non-actors in their life as well.
That's true.
That's more of an LA phenomenon.
I didn't mean to put down John Wilkes Booth acting because apparently he was very good. He's one of the best.
Yeah.
At whatever they did, My American Cousin, whatever they were doing,
or at least the first half of it.
Other than that, I was a blank.
I never found out what happened to the cousin. Sous Vide piles on to the Jay Johnson thing, asking, odd that he doesn't implicate Andy, who has yet to account for himself on January 6th or cooperate with prosecutors.
Terrible. This is not funny, Josh. People are really accusing me, and I've been contacted by some FBI guys They say were you not a voice on Bob's Burgers? I said, yes, I was. So you were there, weren't you? What? How did you get from that? That was a quick. I did it. I was there. And I was Jay Johnston's sidekick.
I did the voice of a guy there.
It's just very depressing. I guess that he didn't have any remorse. I don't know if that's true. But it sounds like
There's the Jew face commercial again.
What was that?
What about Kamala? She's backing the squad. Trump I never liked, but at least he'll keep us safe. Amen.
Is that really?
Yes. Three old
had
Jewish women at a deli having this conversation.
I haven't seen that exact one.
I've seen it over and over and over again.
It sounds like the people who made the Burbank Fund
commercials. Like that. By the way, have you seen the commercial with the old man and lady talking on the translating phone? Hi, Grandma. I played baseball today. What position did you play? First base. That's the same as Grandpa. Well, Grandpa is the same guy from the Burbank Firm commercial with the...
Wait, he's the guy who's married to the woman?
Yes.
Is he married to the woman, supposedly?
Yes.
Grandpa, I'm going to eat an apple?
Yes, him.
Grandpa Apple?
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you something. Before we continue with this commercial, I just want to say I took acting 303 at the...
They call this Apple thing business.
I learned that at the Cider Mill Playhouse, upstate New York.
Have some business, they say.
That's a business. You know, since Caesar, even after he was dead, they couldn't stop him from holding the glass. Funny stuff, Andy. Funny Sid Caesar material.
Stephen Chaotic Neutral says the Home Secretary of the UK is often coincidentally someone with a noun as their last name. Cooper, Straw, Cross. The previous one, cleverly, was an adverb. What was his last name? Hint, if you can't get it even if you've never heard of him. You can get it even if you've never heard of him.
I can't get it. That's why I'm not on game shows.
I'm sorry I don't know the current Home Secretary of the UK and don't really,
I'm not even that up on... I had to look up...
Since we won't be getting the answer, I don't feel like guessing, honestly.
Well, somebody in the middle of one of my rare fights, but they still happen. He said, "You're behind the eight ball," that's not the. It's not the right definition. You're not understand what behind the eight ball means. He goes, "I'm sorry, you didn't like my idiom." I had to look up idiom.
Really?
Totally went out of my head. I still idioms are.
I thought that's something my dad called me.
Why aren't these in scripts? Why aren't we selling these movies right now to some kind of foreign audience? These jokes could be, instead of being wasted on the podcast, we could be, incorporating them into a thing.
It's true. BD West says, guys, rapid fire. Sarah Silverman or Janine Garofalo?
These are unfair.
No, Sarah Silverman or Janine Garofalo. Pick one.
Janine Garofalo. I'll go with Janine Garofalo.
All right. I think I will too, just because I don't know that she's funnier, but she's bugged me less times.
Right, but I just can't. I still think it's a weird. I'm not on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen.
Wanda Sykes or Tig Notaro?
Well, I like Wanda, but I go with Tig.
I'll go with Wanda just for the fun of it.
How much fun are we having?
I'm not having fun at all, but I'm dutifully reading through this. Amy Sedaris or Gilda Radner? Gilda Radner for me. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can't.
And now we get into the meta ones. Roseanne Barr or Q from QAnon?
Oh, I would go for Q with QAnon because Q from QAnon has more updated material.
And you don't have to look at their face.
Oh, that's mean. Okay.
Yeah, it was mean. I didn't mean her face was ugly so much. I just mean her soul is ugly.
That's, I think, exactly. I knew what you meant, but I didn't want to be part of whatever the fallout was going to be.
Dice Clay or Hickory Dickory Dock? Tony Hinchcliffe or the New York City Dump?
That's pretty funny. Tony would like that joke.
BD West is back to say, Josh, I know you despise receiving pep talks. It's true. But you're awfully good at giving them. How about some calming words for those of us anxious about another, quote, day of love looming?
Is that, you mean the election?
Yes. Well, or the January 6th, which is what he referred to as.
Oh, okay.
I will give you a pep talk in the sense of I believe that Kamala will win the election. I can't say that it's going to go smoothly afterwards.
Right.
I don't believe it will because it's very clear that, Trump has been laying the groundwork for 4 years that it won't.
He's so subtle.
But I also think that people, I think even, people who might vote for him but aren't full MAGA heads kind of know the bullshit by now. So I don't think he's going to get universal support from Republicans that he was robbed.
Yes.
But I do think we're going to have some various acts of terrorism will probably occur.
And it can't be exactly the same thing as January 6th because he won't be in the building.
No, and that's nice. Somewhere else he'll be on Truth Social. But I think come January 6th, we will have the result that we are hoping for, and hopefully move on to a new era.
Well, that'd be so good. Because if you're going to tell me that this is going to happen every 4 years, that they're going to keep running this guy every 4 years till the rest of our lives, I just say I need more writers.
Stephen Elton Yates says, as Jews, anything that starts with as Jews.
I know, we're in trouble. He's already separating us.
My friend Dean Johnson years ago used to do an act, an impression in his act of like Jack Benny as the Pharaoh in the Ten Commandments. Oh, Rochester, have you seen my Jews?
You do good voices across the board.
Thank you so much. Stephen L. Yates, as Jews, how do you feel about religious Christmas carols? I'm in a senior strings guitar ukulele group, and our lead. Do you have to just worship Ned Flanders, Stephen? Come on. Senior strings guitar ukulele group, and our leader tries to keep our Christmas music secular. I enjoy the religious carols, but don't want to offend. Well, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, once it's a Christmas carol, you're in Christ's domain, and you can do what you want.
I love them. I like, as a Jew, I didn't like being a Jew, so I loved. If we didn't have Christmas carols, what else would we have? We have Hanukkah, Shoopa Doop Doop. I love them. I love them, and I love.
People have the mistaken stereotype of Jews feeling excluded with the Merry Christmas instead of Happy Holidays, but that's you have a people who came here to assimilate, and we accepted the Christmas thing pretty early on. Yeah,
I wish my mother had. You know what I'm saying?
I do. I mean, I'm not going to respond to it, but I do understand.
Because she didn't let me have Christmas.
Stephen has a picture of his guitar here, in case Andy doesn't believe me. See the pic of my new axe and music tote bag.
That's hilarious. What kind of guitar is it?
It is an acoustic, but the headstock is cut off. It does not show the brand. Oh, no, there. Oh, it's a Martin. Very nice.
That's nice.
Wow. Say, that's a nice.
Sorry, that's a nice guitar.
That's a nice piece of wood there, my friend.
Mm-hmm. Who are you? Is that Thurston Howell III?
No, that was my own concoction.
Oh, I like it. You don't have to actually sigh. Now you have to take that out later.
Let me sigh and pop.
Sigh pop. Is that one of those sigh pops? Get it? Look at that. I just saw you in the third grade, and that's the way you probably were for like 5 or 6 years. Hey, fellas, check it out.
I didn't learn how to do that one until Ferris Bueller came out.
Wow.
Seth Dick III. Celebrities die in threes, or at least the parlor game Mama Dick III plays says. Do you want to die in temporal proximity to other celebs? Or is that undignified?
Oh, no. I want to die. First of all, I want to die after you die. I want you to die first.
Thank you.
What?
Wow. You're 15 years older than me, and you still want me to die first. Way to go.
Yes, because I'm a bad human being. And I'll take it.
Let me guess. I'm too stupid for you.
It's some kind of weird relationship we have now that I'm very excited about.
I would be.
When do you get your blue chews from?
If someone counted me as as the celebrity in a celebrity triad, that's the best I can hope for, really.
Oh, that's nice.
Scrumptious Mike says, "Greetings, Sir Joshington and Squeak." It's squeaky.
Hey, it's
squeaky.
Squeaky. It's squeaky.
Do you guys still have your tonsils? If so, have you ever had a tonsil stone? I'm still here for the cotton candy grapes. I do have my tonsils. I do not have my adenoids, however.
Wow, I didn't know the difference. What's the difference? Don't look at me like I'm an idiot. You know that I'm an idiot.
They're different things.
I don't know what adenoids are.
What's the difference between a
sure
kidney and a liver? Different organs.
Oh, okay. But what is an adenoid?
It's a thing they cut out of my head that I hopefully don't need.
I hope so too.
I was a very young child. They didn't discuss it much with me. They just said you're going in.
They didn't discuss it with me when they made my eyelid good. They said it was good. When they made my eyelid was all droopy, and everyone, look how cute he is. And then they rectified it.
They decuted you.
They decuted me. Although it would have been lazy. It would have been a lazy eye or something if we hadn't fixed it.
Right.
I would have had to have gotten my comedy from my looks, which would be just crazy.
You could have been Dennis Wolfberg.
For the 4 people, we'll get that and we'll go, I used to know that name.
John Dunbar says Josh confessed that if he made a doc on Randy Newman, he would end up mostly trying to make Randy like him. Did Michael DeBar like or dislike Josh when the movie wrapped? Thanks for mentioning the new Newman biography. I just picked it up. Michael DeBar loved me after the doc. And Michael DeBar also was, despite his deep interest in how he was portrayed, was absolutely a creative gentleman when it came to me making the movie.
That's so good. Yeah.
But he still talks to me. When I talk to him frequently, he still reiterates how incredibly important the movie is in his life and how much he loves it. So. But I didn't. But our relationship was different. You know, I didn't have a worship of him. You know,
right.
I didn't. You know, it was. I found him very interesting, and he was a friend going in, kind of. You know.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you weren't looking to sink him.
I was not at all looking to sink him. I didn't have a negative agenda, but there was certainly, you know, one can certainly extract the negative parts of his personality when you watch the movie too. You know.
Right. Although he's genuinely. The fact that he comes off as lovable, I think, is because he is kind of lovable.
I think as he is, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, as I've described him many times since, I believe he is the rarely talked about benevolent narcissist. I believe he truly does reward people for the attention they give him. You know? And we're going to the gram.
Going to the gram. Going to the gram. Everybody's going to go to the gram. Hi, I'm Andy Kindler. You're going to the gram. Hey, make that the thing.
By the way, Gruber is an official listener now.
Is that true?
Yes, he's an official regular listener now. Hi, Groovy.
That's so cool.
And he just all these years, Andy Paley didn't know about the podcast. Gruber turned him on to it.
Oh no, that's good.
We'll see.
We'll see. That's right.
I'm sure we'll be wrong about some stuff.
Isn't it amazing that we will say nothing to anybody about anything?
Yeah.
To our friends?
Well, it's, you know, I think we're in the age where it's almost embarrassing to have a podcast.
So. You have to say that out loud, but I agree.
Sorry. All righty. Mark Anthony Devlin says, did you ever get sick and tired of being impressed by impressive people doing impressive things on the internet? Bring back the half-baked incomplete. This is the best I could manage, folk of yore.
So what he's saying is, or she's saying, like how did that guy get the
there's just like too much polish on these people's
right. Yeah. Exactly. Well, that's why you do on your nights off watch your unedited America's Funniest Video outtakes.
Exactly. I despise. Because
there's nothing funnier.
I despise polish. Daisy Petunia, when you were in high school, did you ever attend school sporting events or plays?
And is they high school?
Yes.
Well, we had a football team, but nobody went there, and we didn't do anything. We did have seniors. We instituted sing in my school when I was in the senior, and they were junior years, and that was a big thing in schools. Did you do senior sing?
We didn't have senior sing, no. But
have you heard of it though?
I've heard of people having
a terrible thing.
But someone I just talked to was like shocked that I didn't have Halloween parades as a little kid at our school.
Oh wow, no.
I didn't. My freshman and sophomore year, I was in the plays, but didn't go to sporting events. And my like first couple of years of high school were. I had a social life, but it was really like outside of high school. It was with a slightly older group of Jewish kids that I had met through AZA, which is Jewish youth group thing. And they went to all different schools, but they were also like, wannabe adult. I would get together and smoke and drink with them on the weekends, basically, And then in my junior year, I became a comic, and so I'd get together and smoke and drink with much older people at that point. But
what a life you had! You're like a little man, but a big man.
But there was a certain by my junior year, I really my high school truly just sort of became my day job that I had to do, but had no stake,
no ties to it.
Yeah. I mean, I had friends there, but that wasn't my life.
How many people were in your? There was 5,000 people in my high school or in my senior class or something.
I think there was like 400-ish around for my class. I think each class had about 400 in it.
And these were huge. This was not like Room 222 either.
Yeah, that's huge. If you had 4,000 people in a high school.
Yeah, I think 5,000 or something. I don't know. Yeah. Too busy.
Sounds like hyperbole, but sure, that sounds like
yeah. 30,000. You don't know what I went through. 50,000 to class. I did come up in the baby boomer. I had to have a double bar mitzvah because of the baby boom. A bar mitzvah while the other guy's having it.
A double bar mitzvah.
Isn't that horrible?
It is.
David Gold, I think it was his name.
Yeah. Did he do better than you?
No, but he couldn't sing, and people later said I couldn't sing, but I wanted to sing the Haftorah. And they said, you can't because he doesn't sing. So, and that was like for years afterwards. Remember when David Gold brought down the level of my bar mitzvah? I could have killed with it. Boom, I had to have him wait.
I was going to go on the road with it until he came along.
Yeah, this asshole.
But Scotty Jones says, I'll borrow a Pete Holmes podcast question. Can you remember a time you laughed the hardest? No, but I think, I will pridefully say that's because I've laughed really hard a lot in my life.
That's true. I've laughed a lot in this show. I've hyperventilated, not hypoventilated, hyper.
That's good. Full Dork says, everyone listening knows that Josh and Andy are two of the greatest comedy minds of all time. But can we please take 20 seconds to appreciate Josh's editing mixing of this podcast?
That's true.
The intro and stingers are tight. The music/comedy interludes keep the action going. And Andy is listenable, even though he is calling in on what sounds like two tin cans connected with a string. No dig on Andy. Zoom audio stinks. Everyone go buy Josh a coffee so he has the energy to keep editing.
Well, that's very nice. But on the other hand, do we sound that bad?
I didn't think we sounded quite tin can string bad. I know that my audio is slightly better than yours, but I attributed that to my voice being slightly better than yours.
What? I don't think there's any difference between, you have a very nice tone to your voice.
Delicious Mick.
He's back?
He's back. Warning, this is an appreciation post. Zach, that's me, I'm Zach, because of you. I think about your Whitney Houston HOSPICE joke at least 3 times a week. I love your dark side, dude, bro. I don't remember that joke, but I sort of take pleasure when I don't remember a funny joke that I said, because it's in that act like you've been there before category.
Right, exactly. You don't have to go...
that does sound like a dark one I did right there. Little man, that's you. You make me laugh. No one else can do what you do the way you do it. I disagree with almost everything you think and say, but you are truly unique, and I just want to thank you both, but mostly Josh, for keeping me company on the long drives while I work alone or while I'm cooking dinner, etc. Toda, Jew boys. Andy, unblock me.
Yeah, that's Delicious Mick, right?
Yeah.
And that means, what was the original?
I like that he took the time to find Toda.
Toda.
Yeah.
What is that?
It's thank you in Hebrew.
Oh, that's pretty good. I don't even know that.
That's fucking sad.
Good stuff.
That's fucking sad.
What was his name before he was Delicious Mick?
Are you stumping? Are you trying to stump me?
I don't know. I don't remember. I always forget every week.
I don't think there was.
Oh, I thought he changed his screen name so that he wouldn't be,
Well, there's Scrumptious Mike as well, and we don't know if they're related.
Oh, okay. We don't know if they're related.
No. Dan Marsh says, hey guys, what's your favorite restaurant that is no longer open? Is there a specific location that was special for some reason?
That's no longer open.
I'll go Rudolph's Barbecue on Lindale and Franklin in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And he'll just pop your lips. Pop, 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 pop.
No, it's bad that I can't come up with something right now. I just
pop,
think...
pop, 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 smack, 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 smack.
All right.
Smack.
I have nothing to do. That was a wonderful letter. I have nothing to add.
Just 7 lip smacks.
Yeah.
8. Got more? If you'd like to continue to support Andy's lip smacking, go to buymeacoffee.com/thoughtspiral and he'll smack right at you.
Or if things don't go our way, we will be having a underground railroad for all of our friends to be safely exited from this country. Country to be determined.
Let's go to Montreal for the bagels.
Hanukkah, Hanukkah, shoopa doop doop.